Guess who's back? Welcome to the latest Carson's Take 5. Ryan and Sonu here. Sonu, there's a few ways people could think of this, but again, we titled this one, Guess Who's Back? We're going to talk about, again, President Trump is back, but that's not the only one back. We think the bull market's back. We had a little rough December. Things are good. And also who's back? The market is broadening out. So we're going to try to talk about those three things, keep it about 5 minutes or so. Let's talk about President Trump. He's back, Sonu. What are some high-level things? Obviously, tariffs might come, dollar might be stronger, some worries, some concerns, some optimism. What do you think with President Trump as he's back?
I think there's opportunity. Anytime Republicans are back, we're talking about potentially tax cuts, things like that. And I think there is a fiscal cliff at the end of this year, January 1st, 2026. If Congress does nothing, usually Congress doing nothing is not the worst thing. But this time, if they don't do anything, all of our taxes go up. That's not great for the economy, right? So we're going to get the tax cuts extended. I think that will happen. I mean, never say never in this business, but I think there's some opportunity there. Maybe we get some more corporate tax cuts. That's going to be good for earnings, things around the edges. But the other side of that is, guess who's back? Maybe volatility will be back. We got a little taste of that, in the first day of President Trump's, second term, I guess, probably. It could be a hard one to say. He's reelected in kind of a way. But we saw that because, they initially talked about a government study of some sort, a committee studying the impact of tariffs, which means nothing would probably get done. And that's not a bad thing. Markets took that as a big positive. And then he came out and said, you know what, we're going to put 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada on February 1st. And then markets fell. But now it looks like we may not get universal tariffs. Anyway, there's a lot of uncertainty that could be volatility related to that. But the good news is, Ryan, as you said, markets are back, right?
No, exactly. One final comment on this. If you look at all the years after an election year, so where we are now, right, the year after an election year, going back 40 years to Reagan's second term, that year has been higher, which is, again, this year right now, 9 of the last 10 times. So the first year of a president, and that's going to be the first term or second term, but the first year of a president, going back to Reagan's second term, has been higher 9 of the last 10 times. So do not just be worried because there's a new sheriff in town or maybe even an old sheriff in town. Markets have taken it in stride the last 40 years. But who's also back? The bull market. We had gained 20% 2 years in a row in the S&P 500, up over 70% since the October lows of 22. December was a little disappointing. December was aggravating. We thought it'd be higher. Yes, it wasn't. We had some worries, concerns. Maybe again, after a big rally, it just was time for a little indigestion, a little pullback, a little breather. But all of a sudden, we're starting to see some real positive things developing. The time we're recording this, S&P is very close to making another new all-time high. Small caps have been coming back. Mid caps, we'll talk about that next in the broadening out theme of who's back. But the reality, again, earnings are strong. Profit margins are strong, productivity's high, labor market's solid, wages are still solid. I mean, Sonu, these are who brought us to the dance, and we think it's who we're going to stick with the dance. Is again, the bull market's back. We never thought it left, but it's back, right? You want to add anything here quickly?
I like that. And I think, we talked about tariffs. The risk with tariffs is that sends the dollar higher. It mutes the inflationary impact of tariffs, but you don't want a rising dollar because that hits, S&P 500 earnings, things like that. And the good news is that the dollar's weakened a little bit over the last week. That's prompted a rally that gets to the broadening out theme, right, Ryan?
That's right. So again, guess who's back? President Trump is back. Bull market's back. We'll end it with the broadening out theme. What do we mean by that? Well, for a couple of years, 23, for instance, technology was amazing. It was a big part of why the market was higher. Last year, all 11 sectors were higher on the S&P 500, some more than others, yes. But this broadening out theme, as we start to see the dollar go a little bit lower, maybe yields go a little bit lower, small caps, mid caps. I mean, I know we're 3 weeks into the year, but, small caps and mid caps have had really strong start to the year. And from an investor point of view, diversified portfolio, it's great when tech's leading and you're all in tech. That's fine. But listen, that's not how it works. Look at 100 years of history. The baton gets passed around. The lifeblood of a bull market is rotation. And we are starting to see, Sonu, that rotation into small and mid caps, cyclicals, industrials, just lots of groups. I mean, everybody likes to take a turn a bull market. And I think that's a healthy thing versus just 7 stocks going higher. It's a lot more than that. What do you think?
Now, at the end of the day, what matters for stocks? Profits. Where do profits come from? The economy. The economy is running fairly solid, especially on the back of a solid labor market, solid household balance sheet, strong productivity growth as well. So that should be good for most companies in the economy to generate stronger revenues and continue driving their profit margins higher, and so profits go up, right? So I think that's a positive. That's why we believe there should be a broadening out, and hopefully we're seeing the beginning signs of that going into this year. It's early days, but still, I mean, I think it's good to start on a positive.
No, absolutely. So with all of that, everyone, this again is your latest Carson's Take 5 with Ryan and Sonu. Thanks for doing these, coming back to these weekly videos. We have a lot of fun doing them. And again, guess who's back? President Trump is back, the bull market's back, and the broadening out theme is back as well. We'll see everybody next week. Take care. Thank you.